Hi, I'm Rocco Staino with KidLit TV, and with me is Myrick, and we're here for Publisher's Spotlight. Ellen, so good to see you.
It is so good to see you, Rocco. I've missed doing this.
Yes, and for those people who it may be their first time or may have forgotten, what is Publisher's Spotlight?
Well, Publisher Spotlight is a discovery spot for finding books for kids from around the world. So I hope you'll follow us at Pub Spotlight on all the social media, and also follow the conversation on Twitter with the hashtag Pub Spotlight Fall 2021.
No ooh.
No ooh.
Okay.
Thank you for spelling that out, or not spelling that out as the case may be. Hashtag Pub Spotlight Fall 2021, and comment on this video here or on the website, and you might win a book bundle of all the books we talk about today.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
And it's a lot of books.
It is. It's 50-something.
52, I think,
52?
a book a week.
Nice.
Yes.
It's like we planned it.
Yes, we always do. Yes, no, but there are so many great books, and I always enjoy this because I learn so much. I'm introduced to authors and illustrators that I may not have known, and I feel like I'm going like a trip around the world.
There you go. Well, let's start off with Dulcinea in the Forbidden Forest, who goes on a little trip around the Forbidden Forest. This is by Ulla Kaneki, and this book is from Gecko Press in New Zealand. So we'll start off in New Zealand. Ulla is in Germany, so there you have that. And if you're thinking that name sounds vaguely familiar, it may be because You Can Do It, Bert, which is one of my very favorite read-alouds, was an Irma Black honoree from the Bank Street College of Education. Now, this is an illustrated chapter book, and nobody does those as well as Gecko Press, I think. This is a case about Dulcinea, who goes with her father to get some things for her birthday breakfast, blueberries for her pancakes, and they forget the blueberries. So Dad goes into the forest and decides that he's just going to go in there, even though he's told her never to go in there because there's an evil witch. He'll cast a spell on her, but he goes in thinking, I'm just barely going in just to get the blueberries. But you know what? He gets caught by the evil witch, and she turns him into a tree. Now, I'm sorry, but that is the funniest tree I've ever seen. So you want to say there you go.
Oh, yeah, there it is.
I'm sorry. I didn't want to tease you with that funny tree. So he gets turned into a tree. She's carrying her spell book because she can't seem to remember the spells without the book. Dulcinea is a resourceful girl, so she climbs the witch's tower, hears a horrible noise, gets to the top, and discovers it's the witch singing loudly, poorly, horribly. And the witch catches her, and she says, oh, but it's my birthday. You can't turn me into anything. And she says, well, what do you want for your birthday? And she says, well, I want you to sing the longest song in the world. So the witch starts on that process, and before you know it, Dulcinea is made off with the spell book and turns her dad, saves her dad from being chopped down by a woodcutter, and saves her dad from being chopped into the wood, and chopped into a tree, into wood. And then she has the spell book, so she can do anything she wants, like have her animals talk. So she gets the duck to tell her a joke. Is that what you would do if you could get your animals to talk, is have them tell you jokes?
Why not? Yes.
Yeah.
You know, this is the first of many books today that have very strong female characters.
Yeah, a lot of girl power going on today.
Girl power,
Yeah.
yes. And I have another book from Gecko Press, and it's called Inside the Suitcase. And I love when I take my suitcase out because it means I am going somewhere. Right, and you know, many of us haven't been anywhere. But in this book, they use folds. Like here we are, we start here away behind the hills. You have you'll find a delightful little house. And there's that little house. Who's inside? Knock, knock. A boy with his suitcase. And then if you open up the little flaps there, you'll see a little cat that says, I wonder why he needs that case. Well, that's just the first of many folds. And my favorite, not only do I like to travel, I also like sweets. And here we have our cake. And there's the first layer of sponge fingers. And then there are strawberry mousse. And then there is chocolate dome that seems to be saying, eat me. So well, we have other books that have food in it, but this was
Yeah.
a fun book because it has lots of manipulatives. Yes.
It does, and that's by Clotilde Perrin,
Yes.
who did The House of Madame M, and Inside the Villains, which is also a really fun book. Next up from Flores Books, based in Scotland, we have Home of the Wild. And this is a beautiful story about a boy who really cares about all things wild, and it just shows his life and the thoughtfulness he has. And when he finds a little fawn, it's keeping the fawn wild and understanding that it's nature to be a wild thing. The illustrations are just gorgeous, as you can see. And in the end, fawn grows up. So I think of it as like a picture book that's kind of like The Yearling, except it has a happy ending. So there you go. That is Home of the Wild from Flores.
And I have one from Flores too. Another book that will keep you busy, The Dog Walk by Sven Nordqvist. And just look at that cover. Look at all the people on the cover. Look at all those things on the cover. Find the dog that's going to go for a dog walk and the little boy that's taking him for the walk. You can keep busy by just counting the number of people on the cover, the number of animals and things on the cover. And so this is every spread. There's so much to see, but you need to find the dog and the boy. Yes.
You could get lost in that book for hours.
You can, and I did. Yes.
Okay. Well, if you're going on a dog walk, this is a good book to take with you. Take Me Outdoors. And this is from Agnes and Aubrey, and they do these beautiful guided journals that there's one, Take Me on Vacation, Take Me Home, Take Me to Museums. And what they do is they teach you to kind of look more closely at what's around you and write about it. So you also get some great nonfiction information in there. In this case, you learn all about the weather. So how does the air outside feel today? Rocco, how does the air outside feel today?
It feels beautiful, actually.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's kind of warm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and breezy, a little breezy. So, and then it tells you all about weather on this page. So much to discover during this time when a lot of people are going outside and trying to expend some energy. This is a perfect book to have, a nature journal for young explorers from Agnes and Aubrey. And next up, we have Albatross.
Albatross, and I have a series of books. It's a unique mix of sort of an encyclopedia, sort of, right?
Fairy Tale Encyclopedia is the name
yeah,
of the
right.
series.
Fairy tale,
Yeah.
and so in the series we have observing the planets of the forest.
The plants of the forest.
Oh, the planets.
The planets in the forest might be a whole different kind of book.
Yes. Hansel and Gretel, and then we'll have Snow White discovering the underground, Sleeping Beauty learning about the garden, because I think Sleeping Beauty actually fell asleep out in a garden, yes.
Yeah.
And observing the animals of the forest with who else but Red Riding Hood. But look, you not only have the spreads, but they open up and you can learn about the subject. And that's only one of many in this book.
Yeah.
And every book is formatted just like this.
So you have the fairy tale and you have all this habitat information.
Yes.
And flora and fauna. Cool.
Flora and fauna.
That's
Yes,
very cool.
thank you.
Albatross is really good at informational illustrated books. And I have Colors of Nature, and another in this series is Shapes and Patterns of Nature. And Magdalena Konechna is the illustrator, and she was 19 years old when she did these illustrations. And I think they are just absolutely stunning. So if you can take a look at all the different oranges that are to be found in nature, and she does this exact same thing with shapes and patterns as well. So check out this series from Albatross Media.
And I have another Albatross
You do.
book here. It's Childhoods of Famous People. And again, another interactive book, because when we open the book, we are introduced to a group of people, but we're not told who they are. They're just identified by a number. So we have this fellow here with a megaphone, number 40, and then we have a few ladies here that you may know about, but you may not know about. And this book will help you find out about them. For example, here we have a page here, and it gives you all this information, and we'll see if we can guess who it is. But if you can't, you flip this over, and we find out it's none other but Leonardo da Vinci. And there's lots of information that will teach us about each of these individual children who are famous.
Yes. Yes. So this is, like I said, this is a great publisher for those kids who like facts. And another book they have coming out is the Atlas of Extinct Animals. It's a survey book, an encyclopedia approach, and every page has information about where the animals originated, about the story of their lifespan, what kinds of scientific information about them, genus, and all that kind of stuff, but also incredibly beautiful and detailed illustrations. This book was a White Raven winner, which is an international award given to books that are unique and rare. Beautiful and rare.
Yes.
And that is The White Raven. Now, the next book I want to tell you about is from Cassava Republic. And that one is not physically here yet, so we're just showing you the cover. Again, just like you do with the Atlas of Extinct Animals. But it's Smile with African Style. And it's by Milo Freeman, who is beloved around the world. She is a Dutch-Nigerian author-illustrator. She did the Princess Arabella books. You know those books, the Princess Arabella books. In this case, it's a teacher in a classroom in Africa, and too often, I think, in this country, we just think of Africa, a continent, but really, it's got a lot of countries. In fact, it's got more countries than any other continent in the world. And what this book does is it talks about the costumes and customs of people in different countries and what they would wear and how they would look. So it kind of breaks down the continent for us in this wonderful illustrated style by Milo Freeman. So yeah, be sure to check that one out from Cassava Republic, who is based, by the way, in Nigeria. So, and now we're on to next.
No.
Don't go yet.
No, don't go yet.
Don't go yet. Screen-free fun, which is
Oh.
School of Life. So if you don't want to have kids staring at a screen, oops, that's what you're doing right now. Anyway, if you don't want to have kids staring at a screen any more than they absolutely have to, right? Then screen-free fun is a great way to do it. 80 different activities that kids can do that will take them away from their screen and out into the world, or maybe just looking through a window. One of my favorites is maybe slightly creepy, but it is called a window stakeout. So it tells you how to do a stakeout. Take notes of everything that's happening out there. Kind of like Rear Window for kids. Nah, forget I said that. Anyway, lots of great activities that you can do outside from the School of Life, who has offices all over the world.
And when they should take notes, they should actually write the notes as opposed to putting them.
That's right. You should write it on pieces of paper. Yeah.
Right. Yes, because it's screen-free.
Yes, exactly. Good point.
Yes,
Thank you for that, Rocco.
That's why I'm here. Yes.
Because you want to know what's happening at that very moment outside your window, right?
Yes, at that very moment, which leads me into this book.
Yeah.
And the publisher of this book is?
Cicada.
Cicada, yes. At this very moment. It is a book that will help children be a little mindful about what's happening around them. And, we always wonder, I may be sitting here, but what is happening next door or in another country? And, and I think in Tokyo, they're actually...
Are people like running and jumping?
Yeah, right, exactly.
Yeah,
So this is a great way to make children aware of what's happening around them
really nice,
and in other places.
It's a really nice read aloud too, a mindfulness read aloud.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I like the feel of the
Good book feel.
The texture of the book. I really enjoy that.
Good book feel. And you have another Cicada book to show us too.
Oh, yes.
You're Mr. Cicada today.
I am Mr. Cicada. And yes, by Elliot Krasinski, right?
Very good.
Yes. But this book introduces Professor Wooford McPoor and the history of cars. And, it's this is great for car lovers, but also very informative because it tells you about cars. Like, I drive a car, but I don't know how they work, you know, and but it also will introduce us to early cars. And one of the fun ones, a fun time of cars were those big luxury cars of the 1950s.
That use so much gas.
So much gas, yes, yes, yes. But not only that, but there's also a game when, speaking of gas, when you need to get gas in your car.
You're waiting in line?
Yeah, and there is the professor, and here is the gas pump. It's not really a charging, or is it a charging station? No, it's not a charging station. It is a gas pump. But you can try and find your way around the maze. And that's just some of the activities and information in this history of cars.
And it finishes up with
a electric car?
Yeah,
Electric car. Oh, and look, and the weirdest cars of all time. I think my father owned one of those. But anyway, one of those big ones, yes.
Yep.
Yes. Well, that was a fun one. But I think I have another.
You have another car book.
I do.
I gave you all the car books.
But this is by Naomi Danis.
Yes, and Child's Play is a publisher.
Yeah, Child's Play. And it's called By Car. And it's great for observation with kids, and it shows these two children who are observing all the different types of cars. You know, like this yellow car that's a taxi, but then there's noisy cars that may be beeping their horns. There are small cars, and there are big cars. There are cars that are filled with people, and there are cars that are just sitting along the side of the road. So this is a
so
great
in the end, though, they're encouraging people to say goodbye to their cars.
Another, yes.
And find public transportation or find other ways to get around.
Right, like bicycles.
Bicycles. That'd be awesome.
Yes, that's great.
Yeah, and use green energy.
Yes. And be healthy by exercising. By here we are. We could see not only bikes, but scooters. And here we happen to be in New York. There are people on scooters all over the place, just up and down the streets. Yes.
Very, very fun.
Yes.
And another book from Child's Play. I just love the illustrations in this book. Choices by Rusabus. I hope I'm saying that right. And this is about another child who notices, who's really observant of what's happening around her. And she realizes that all day long, every single moment, actually, people are making little choices. Sometimes little choices, sometimes big choices. But everything you do is a choice. So let me show you a little bit about this. Life is full of choices. You can find them everywhere. They can be little choices, like trying to figure out what you want to eat, or bigger ones, like which of those gigantic slides are you going to go down? Or not. You can choose to stand out, or to blend in with the others. These are just some of the choices that are in this beautiful book about just taking life as it comes and understanding that we're always making choices from Child's Play. So that is Choices. Next up, we have COVID Helpers and the new one that is coming out, which is Helping Our World Get Well, which is about COVID vaccines. Now, these books were done in response to a call from Emory University. So these were the winners of the Emory Global Health Institute ebook competition. And they're published by Blair Publishing. So it's available in English and Spanish. And the new one, which is called Helping Our World Get Well, COVID Vaccines, is also going to be available in both languages, in both paperback and hardcover. And thanks to Blair for making these books available, because we need more information is a good thing, more accurate information. So that is from Blair Publishing. And next up, we have 150 first words. This is from Merriam-Webster Kids. That's a new publisher. Well, not really, not really. But Merriam-Webster Kids is a new imprint from the publisher Merriam-Webster. And this is such a great book. It's by Claire Ladies Davis. She's got all the letters after her name, so she knows what she's doing when she talks about doing early childhood. And I defy you to find a cuter cast of characters than this one. I mean, is everyone going, oh? And if you want to win this book and all the other ones, be sure to comment below.
Yes.
And you might win this book basket. If you've got a new little one coming into your life, maybe you're going to, you have a baby or a grandbaby.
Okay. Maybe I should make
you're not eligible, Rocco.
I can't make a comment.
You're not eligible, but this might be one you'd want to win.
Yes.
Anyway, so the way this book is structured, and I think it's so ingenious, is that you have the actual pictures of the objects, and then they can find the objects above, so it can be enjoyed on various levels by the children. Here we go. So here we see her, and you can spot her up in the illustration. And it's got a simple story. It's got a seek and find element. So many different ways that kids can learn 150 first words, because why stop at 100?
Yes, why not?
Wow.
Yes.
I think that makes sense.
150
first words.
And
speaking of words.
Speaking of words, here's word of the day. Yes, so every day of the year, because
every day of the year,
yes,
366.
There's a word, and this is a fun book because you don't have to wait for the day. You could hand this book to someone and say, "What's the word for your birthday, and what does it mean?" And so you can do that. And at the end of each month, there is a story that uses every word from that month. And so this is a book that would be picked up often. And you should just like keep
and
it
teachers can really use that book too.
Yes, yeah. You could start your day with the word of the day, and you could end each month with the story of the month. And you have an announcement about this too.
I do. A KidLit TV exclusive.
Oh.
So those stories of the month that we were talking about are actually going to be read by celebrities.
Really?
So we have 3 celebrity narrators, and this will be
an announcement. And the 3 celebrity narrators are
Rachel Bloom, David Harbour, and Soledad O'Brien.
Oh, terrific.
So there's a QR code, and you can listen to those audiobook stories as you get to the end of each month. Or if you want to be, just go ahead. You can't stand the suspense, you can listen to them all.
Right. So there's a QR.
There's no judging here.
There's a QR code in the book.
In the book, when the book comes out in the fall.
Yes.
Yes. A little bit of delayed gratification.
Well, in the fall, but then you could start a great holiday gift. So people can start with the word of the day in January 1st.
I like the way you think.
And I'm not going to tell you what the January 1st word is.
No, don't.
No.
No.
You'll have to get the book.
Yes. Or follow us at Pub Spotlight. We might reveal it there.
Okay.
On social media. Yeah.
Or comment what you think the word for January 1st will be.
Or a word you wish was included in the book.
Yes, you never know. It may be.
It might be.
Oh.
So speaking of word of the day, you've got another book over there you're going to show us that is...
that has words, but each word has a special meaning, and it's escape. The name of the book is Escape, and the publisher is
Lantana Publishing, based in the UK.
Yes, and it starts with an index of words like cling, dart, defy, disguise, flee, fly, and each word talks about how an individual has to run away.
A desperate journey.
A desperate journey. What's the
around the world and throughout time?
Yes, desperate journeys, and throughout time, because it's about people that have to escape and run away today, but also people that had to escape and run away in the past. And one of the people that I was actually one of the things I enjoy is learning. I always learn so much at Publishers Spotlight, and the word was pedal. And which means set off, cycle, pedal for your life. And the husband and wife they talk about are people you may know, the Hans and Margaret Ray, the creators of that book, that little
Curious George.
Curious George, and they not only had to escape from France during World War II, but they had to bring the drawings for the book with them when they escaped, and that's just one of many stories in Escape. Yes.
Yeah, from all over the world.
Yes.
And another book from Lantana. I keep saying all over the world with Lantana because they do what I think of as kind of fusion publishing. They bring creators from different parts of the world together to do this amazing storytelling. In Coyote Soundbite, we have John Agard, who now lives in the UK, but was born in the Caribbean and is a poet. And Pete Grobler, who is a South African illustrator. And these are all the animals getting together to figure out a way to save Mother Earth. And they get all the Earth goddesses together for this. It is just a beautiful, wonderful celebration, but also a plea for help to save the Earth. And here we go to the end here. Although they have a conference with all the Earth goddesses. And Earth lovers of the world unite. Mother Nature is always right. So the poetry works, it begs to be read aloud, and is just an amazing, amazing fun thing. So that is Coyote Soundbite. And next up, we have Othello. Where's your Othello? Oh, here it is.
Oh, yes.
You hit Othello.
Well, you know what? It made my pile a little off balance.
Oh, okay.
Yes. But it is a manga classic. It is Othello. And I love this because usually you start here and it says wrong way. Yes, so because with manga you read it the
Japanese style.
The Japanese
so,
style. And so this has the full text of William Shakespeare, Othello. But the nice thing about it is the characters are introduced to you in the beginning, and I'm trying, here they all are. And then you could go to some of the most famous scenes in Othello and see how the characters interact with each other. And so it's a great way to read Shakespeare and to also have a graphic novel.
Yes, and it's done in the true graphic novel format because, you know, like in this case, Hamlet is hot. So yeah, there you have that. So not only do they have the full text original editions, but Manga Classics is coming out with modern language adaptations as well. They're starting off with Macbeth and Hamlet and Romeo and Juliet. And if you would like to see a copy of that, please note it in the comments that you would like to get a widget for that from NetGalley, and we will send you a copy you can read so you can check it out. The beautiful thing about the way they've done these adaptations is they preserve a lot of the language, so the vocabulary is still very rich and very much part of Shakespeare's language, but it also is a little bit more easy to read for those who find the iambic pentameter maybe a little tough to get through. So that is from Manga Classics, Hamlet, Othello, Romeo and Juliet. And while we're talking about classics, let's talk about some other classics. Here we have Cinderella. And this is from Cube Publishing, which is based in the UK. And Fawzia Jilani is just a celebrated author from the Islamic world. And she has done these retellings of classic fairy tales, but with an Islamic point of view. So we'll have scripture from the Quran through it, and there are things that would be true to what would happen in that culture. The next one that's coming out is Rapunzel. So if you want to check out the Rapunzel Islamic tale, then that will be from Cube Publishing.
Yeah, if a library has a big Islamic population.
Muslims, then they'll certainly want to
Right.
And actually I've heard from so many librarians that these books circulate really well. So make sure and if you're looking for books to serve that community, then Cube is a great place to start.
Yes.
Yeah, and you've got another book from Cube to tell us that we're going to show on the screen, which is Pizza.
Oh, pizza.
How could you forget pizza?
Because it's not in my pile. Yes. No, but that, we were talking about going around the world, and the creator of Pizza is also a song writer, right?
He is the Rafi of the Islamic world.
Yes, and I really... when I saw the the PDF of this, it was it made me hungry. It was one of those food books, and so it was some foods I was familiar with, and some foods that I want to try. Yes.
And it wasn't your typical countries. I mean, or cities. It went to Yemen and Bahrain and Tijuana,
and you can get a map
Yeah.
of the world, and you can point it out while you're reading it while you're reading it, while you're eating the food from that
Yep.
particular country.
And that is Pizza in His Pocket. And while we're talking about food, we're going to have a little story time right now with Lunch Every Day by Catherine Otoshi. Now, you may know Catherine Otoshi's work from Draw the Line, which was published by Macmillan, and also from her bestsellers 1 and 2 and 0. This is a beautiful story that's coming out in the fall. I'm reading from an F&G, so I apologize for any flimsiness that happens, but I just love this one.
Let me know if you need me.
I will let you know. There he is. Just look at him. Skinny neck, slumping. Is there a face behind all that hair? I could topple him with a tap. Hey! You see he's taking his lunch. No way am I standing in that line. At least his lunch is good. Better than mine. I bet his home is better than mine too. Older brothers, you know. Next day at school, I shove him extra hard, just 'cause I can. Someone sees me do it. The principal tells me to try my potential. I look down like I feel bad. Mostly, I just feel mad. Things stay the same for a while until skinny kid's having a party. Everyone's invited, even me. I am so not going. The morning, I look out my window and I let the sun warm me up for a while. I put on my best shirt. When I get there, everyone's holding a gift. I put my hands in my pockets. I walk down the pathway, up the stairs, to the front door. I see Skinny Kid's mom inside, holding his birthday cake. Everyone is celebrating in the kitchen. I stay in the living room. I slump down in a chair, kicking air, and this is when he realizes that the father is no longer there. I hear a sound and look up. His mom is in the doorway, like she knows I'm there. She sees me, like sees me. She marches right up to me. She says in a real quiet voice, "Jimmy, what would you like for lunch tomorrow? I hear you like my lunches." Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to make a second lunch, and my son will bring it for you every day. Okay? And do you know something? She did. And that's how I got lunch every day. Now, this is based on a true story and a whole lot more. Based on a true story about Jim Perez, who is an administrator at a school in California and had invited Catherine to speak at classes through the years, and she asked him for his story, and he said, I was on the way to prison, and this act of kindness completely changed his life. So lunch every day is just a start. Well, we are going to have a short break. You're going to get to watch a trailer for an exciting new graphic novel called The Orphan King, coming from Diamond Book Distributors, and A Wave Blue World is the publisher. And then a real treat. After that, we're going to have an interview. Rocco is going to talk with Yevgenia Nyberg, who did Queen to the Rescue from Creston Books. So stay tuned, make sure to comment, and don't go away.
Yeah, we'll be right back. You just stay right where you are. Yes. Well, we're back, but you're not Ellen. No.
Not
Yevgenia Nyberg, the illustrator of Queen to the Rescue. Thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you for having me.
Yes. So you are the illustrator of the book, and can you tell us what Queen to the Rescue is about?
It is about Henrietta Zolt, who was a founder of Hadassah, a charity organization founded and run by women that supported people in Palestine, Jews and Arabs alike.
Yes, so it was a Jewish organization. It helped Jews, and it was created like in the early 1900s.
Yes,
so
1912.
So it's been around for a long time.
That's right.
So and during World War II, so they've helped Jews during the 1900s, when they came to the United States, and also she, the founder, helped Jews during World War II.
She
right?
did. She saved 11,000 Jewish children during the Holocaust.
Yes. How many?
11,000.
11,000. My, oh my. And and I don't think many people know about her.
That's true.
Yes.
I did not know about her.
You did not?
No.
So, so you had to do research?
Well, yeah, like with any book,
Yes.
any nonfiction book, you have to do research. And I had to research her and her native city of Baltimore and Palestine and the time when she moved there. So, yeah, definitely plenty of research comes
Yes.
with that.
So, when you do research, do you go to like libraries to do research?
Well, especially for this book that happened during the pandemic. I did my entire research online.
Oh, really?
But there is plenty of information. There is Hadassah Archives and also the archives of the city of Baltimore.
Right, right. And so you've illustrated several nonfiction books. So is there a challenge in illustrating a nonfiction book?
Well, there are different challenges with different nonfiction books.
Yes.
But for me personally, I'd like to keep my work stylized while still keeping the character of the book, the real person, recognizable. So that's one of the challenges, I would say.
Yeah, so was there a particular illustration that was more challenging than others?
No, I don't think
Oh,
so. I think they're all challenging equally.
Right. Yeah, and but so yeah. you're actually like creating almost like a portrait of her in some of these illustrations, like the one that I'm showing right now. It's almost a portrait. I could see this, hanging, in someone's home. Yes, and so when you create this, what's your medium?
Well, this particular one is mixed media, but it's about 90% digital.
Right, yes. So you spent a lot of time in front of the computer.
I do, doing only useful things. Though.
Oh, okay. The quote of today's show. In front of the computer, but only doing useful
That's
things.
right.
Yes, and just like all our viewers today that are watching us on their computer or on their phone, they're doing something very useful because they're learning about you and your book. Now, you've done other books with the same publisher, right?
That's right.
Yeah, and so what books were they?
The first one I did was Martin and Anne by the same author, Nancy Cherney, and also Numbers in Motion by Lori Wolmark, which is the story of the Russian mathematician Sofia Kovalevsky.
Right, and Creston Books is the publisher.
Yep.
Yes. Yeah, and so 3 books by, and they're all nonfiction.
They're all nonfiction.
Yes, but so that's interesting. But I found out that Hadassah actually was the Hebrew word for Esther.
That's right.
And yeah, so we always learn something. I mean, I knew of Hadassah, but I did not know about the woman behind the organization, and nor did I know how she saved all these children. So what was the most interesting thing you learned about her in creating this book?
Well, she had a really long life, and she was born during the Civil War, and she lived through World War II, staying very busy and helping people and saving people all this time. So she was quite a remarkable woman.
Right, yes. So, well, thank you so much for coming here and telling us about A Queen to the Rescue.
You're very welcome.
Yes. And it's out in October?
October.
So this book is kind of special because it's not really out. So I am going to give this back to you. So you have that. Yes. Thanks. Well, thanks again.
All right.
Thanks.
Oh, who is that? It's Ellen.
Oh, that was so smooth.
Yes. Yes. I just am trying to get my pile up here.
I think your pile is backwards.
My pile is backwards. So
your pile is backwards. So I'm going to talk about Dusty Dabbert and another book from Creston Books. Creston does such an amazing job with picture book biographies, but I'm excited about this one. This is a graphic novel, and if you are a fan of graphic novels, then you should know about Dusty Dabbert. It is a classic from the Netherlands and was considered by many to be kind of the Dutch Asterix. I feel like it's really almost Dutch, it's almost Asterix plus Bone, because it's got a lot of heart in it, which I really, really love. In this case, Dusty Dabbert visits the secret animal kingdom. Dusty has a magic knapsack that always has what he needs it inside. When he is waylaid by the 2 bad guys and they try to steal what he's got from his knapsack, what do they find? They find a mousetrap and a really heavy book. So, that serves them right. And then they throw Dusty into this cave, but it turns out that it's actually a gateway to a secret animal kingdom. So this cat that is very nattily attired, and that's not often something you hear out loud, nattily attired. No, but I feel like that is the mot juste for this. Oh, I'm mixing my languages. Anyway. Here we have this cat who is dressed up to the nines, and he takes him to visit the kingdom, and it's all filled with animals who are talking, and of course the bad guys come over there and they're trying to corrupt them, and it turns out all just fine in the end due to Dusty's courage and smarts and the animals themselves. So this actually came about because Marissa Moss, who's the founder of Creston Books, actually studied in the Netherlands and discovered this book when she was there and thought that U.S. audiences should get a chance to read his adventures. So that is Dusty Dabbert, The Secret Animal Kingdom from Creston Books. And next up, we have a book from Aftershock Comics, which is by Steve Orlando and distributed by Diamond Book Distributors. Now, Aftershock has actually started a new imprint for younger readers called Seismic, which I think is hilarious when you think about Aftershock. Anyway, it's earthquake humor. Okay, thank you for that. Anyway, one of the first books they have coming out is Rainbow Bridge. So this book takes the idea of when you have a pet that dies. Have you ever had a pet that passed away?
Yes, I have.
When you were a child?
Yes.
So did you want to follow your pet across the Rainbow Bridge?
I wondered what was
happened?
on the other side of the Rainbow Bridge.
Here you get to find out. And you know what? It's not all cuddling in the grass under a tree with your favorite dog. It's a little bit scarier than that. So they go on this incredible adventure, save each other, lots of exciting things happen, and at the end of the day, you know, just let it go. Let him go, and it's okay. So that is Rainbow Bridge from Aftershock/Seismic. Now we have another book from them. Oh, it's my turn. Sorry,
Yes,
not
it
your
is.
turn yet.
No.
Yeah. So we were talking about that secret animal kingdom. Well, what if animals could tell you in a letter everything that you'd done to them through time? It would not be happy. This is a book from Magnetic Press based on the writings of Alain Dubourg, and he's a he's an animal rights activist, and this is just incredibly convicting and beautiful and just an amazing book. But you're not going to leave this feeling all fluffy about animals. So here we see a turtle, and a turtle has to survive incredible odds to make it to adulthood. And this turtle gets to be, 50 years old, but you know what does him in? It's the plastic off the six-pack that you threw into the ocean. So this is just one of the stories of the ways that humans have ruined the world for animals and just have not been kind to them through time. The illustrations are amazing. This is by Frederic Beaumont, who did the Love the Lion, Love the Tiger, Love the Fox books that got lots of star reviews and is an amazing journey. So
I have another book by Magnetic also, and it's Beneath the Trees, The Autumn of Mr. Grumpf. I sometimes feel like Mr. Grumpf. Because, yes, especially in the autumn, because I have a house that has lots of trees, and you have to rake all those trees. So I kind of feel his pain, when, he gets a leaf in his face, and then he has all his neighbors coming around with their problems, the squirrels have to get more nuts, and, and someone has a broken kite, and this and that, and Mr. Grumpf is kind of grumpy, but beneath that exterior, he is a very kind guy, just like yours truly, and he goes and he helps these neighbors. But not only does he help the neighbors, that in the end, the neighbors help him with his leaf raking, but what comes after autumn? Yeah, snow in winter. But anyway, it's a great story about helping each other, and being neighborly. Yes.
Yeah, it's beautiful, and I was just thinking this really would pair well with Winnie the Pooh and the Blustery Day. It would just be a very nice thing. But I love how Mr. Grumpf, it is not easy to get that kite out of the tree, but he does everything he possibly can
yes, he
to
does.
get that kite out of the
right.
tree.
And fixes the kite.
Fixes the kite. Yeah.
What a guy, that
What a
Grumpf.
Mr. Grumpf.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. Next up, we saw that beautiful wind blowing the leaves. We have The Wind May Blow. This is from Tiger Tales, and it's illustrated by Thomas Hegbrook, who is one of my very favorite illustrators. He did Story World's Nature from 360 Degrees. It got a lot of star reviews. This is a perfect book to give somebody who, as a baby shower gift, and also just kind of a, everything may not go your way today, but tomorrow is another day. It's going to be okay. And I just have to show you some of these illustrations because they're just lovely. On the day you were born, the sun rose brilliant and bright and beautiful. And you see it's got this wonderful die cut. The sun rose and kissed your toes as warm roses bloomed at each cheek. And then you lift it and you see the rose revealed. You get the idea. Just a lovely, lovely story that has good book feel. This book is, and I don't know if you can tell that it's shiny. It's got a little bit of bling, which is always fun.
I like books that feel good, when you touch them.
For sure.
Yes,
Yep.
yes. Well, I have a book. You can never have too many Llama books.
No.
Yes. And
Truth universally acknowledged.
yes, and
Yes.
we have Agent Llama by Angela Wolfe. And yes, so who is this this llama? Well, I'm reading from from an ID card. Yes, and it's Meet Palmer, Charlie Palmer. Awesome spy and fluffy llama. Her top secret mission.
Her?
Her, yes.
Her.
We talked about strong women books.
We did. Here's another one.
Yeah. Her
Charlie doesn't have to be a boy name.
That's true. Her top secret mission: to save the world and rescue a pair of underwear. Whose underwear? It's the Prime Minister's underwear, no less. So not only is she a llama, but she is a government agent, a master of disguise. She is very good at hoof-to-hoof combat and an all-around thoroughly charming llama. Yes.
That's wonderful.
Yes.
And I love that it's kind of a graphic novel approach on some of the pages.
Yes,
you can see
yes.
the panels. And,
Right.
And so for kids who are really into that graphic novel format, this is a wonderful picture book for them to enjoy.
Yeah, right. Just
Yeah,
like
there
this
you go.
one right
Just
there.
like that one.
Just
That's
like that.
great.
Yes.
And our next book is from Tiny Owl Publishing, which may be the cutest name for a publisher I think I've ever heard. And we have Sorry, Mrs. Cake. And this is by Kate Milner. Remember, we told you about Kate Milner first. She is an illustrator to watch, author illustrator to watch. Kate was this is her first year out in the world doing professional work, and she already appeared on the Kate Greenaway list, which is one of the most influential illustrator lists out there. In this case, we have this kind boy who notices. Observant children are another theme from today. And he notices that Mrs. Cake has been very, very busy making all these things, and nobody seems to be paying any attention. So they go to each of the groups, the dads and the moms and the grandmoms and the kids, and nobody will give them the time of day and notice that she's done all this work. And I have to show you the page where we can see, well, I want to show you the desserts. Clearly, I love desserts. So I want to show you, there it is. Look at all that work she did. And nobody's paying attention. So finally, they do manage to get her attention, and the grown-ups have to say, sorry, Mrs. Cake. And they all have a great party. This is done before the pandemic, just saying.
Yeah, yes, a party, a gathering, yes.
Yes, a very, very fun. So this is Sorry, Mrs. Cake from Tiny Owl Books.
Yes.
All right, and next we have...
Am I up next?
Nope.
No.
Nope. We have more food.
Ah, good.
So we're going to be healthy now. And we're going to talk about zucchini. This is from Readers to Eaters, which is a publisher based on the West Coast. And if you're looking for books on food literacy, they are the publisher to start with. So they've done all these amazing books, including Sylvia's Spinach, Bread Lab, The Thing About Bees. And here's some good news for you. They're also available in audiobooks. And so the newest one from them is Las Calabacitas de Zora, which is the Spanish language version of this one. And yes, it is also an audiobook too. The next one that's going to be coming out in the future is Chef Roy Choi in Spanish. and then we'll see what comes after that. I hear some exciting things, but that is Readers to Eaters from and Zora Zucchini in both English and Spanish. Now, next we have from Nube Ocho, we have Benji's Doll. So Benji's Doll is kind of, you know, what I thought was interesting is I saw this and I thought immediately, because, you know,
Right.
William's Doll, Charlotte Zolotel, classic. I have to say, they didn't know that book because they're based in Spain, in Madrid, Spain. And it's even kind of the same palette. But what I love is that we've progressed as a society since William's Doll first came out. And now Benji's, his parents will give him a doll, which is lovely. So they give him a doll, and he's so excited to show it to his friends. There you go. You can see him with his doll. Excited to show it. He takes it down to the playground, but uh-oh, what happens? There's a bully. And he grabs the doll, and he throws it around and doesn't treat it right, and the eye pops off. Benji is devastated that this happens. But what I love about this is Pedro, the bully, has a moment, and he realizes that that was not the right thing to do, and he wants to be kind. So what does he do? He figures out a really creative solution, and he gives him a gift, which is an eye patch. So then they can play with the doll, and they can also play pirates. So that is Benji's Doll, and it's available in Spanish, because Nube Ocho does books in English and Spanish when they originate them. And La Muñeca de Lucas is the Spanish version, but they also do translations of books that are in English, so including?
Oh, yes.
Yes.
El Ladrón del Sombrero. But I know the name, John Klassen, and I know this little guy over here on the cover. So is this the Spanish translation?
It is.
Of I Want My Hat?
Yes, but it's The Hat Thief, if you want to be literal.
The literal translation.
Yeah.
So, you know, I have a great hat story and a John Klassen story.
Oh, please tell.
Yes. Oh, so I am at an event, and who do I sit next to at dinner? But John Klassen. But it was a buffet dinner. And so he was sitting there. And
Again, pre-pandemic.
Pre-pandemic.
Yeah.
And he went up to the buffet, and he left his hat. And what did I do is I took his hat.
You took John Klassen's hat.
I did. And when he
Rocco?
came back, he looked around and said, "Where is my hat?" And I said, "Do you want your hat back?" And I was nice. But you know how much I could get on eBay for his hat?
Oh, man.
You know? But anyway, I'm glad the story is in Spanish.
Along with all the others in the Hat trilogy.
Yes.
Well, that is amazing. That is an amazing story. Thank you so much for sharing that. And next, you have Blanca Flor, which is also in Spanish and English.
Oh, yes, both in Spanish and English. And it is a Toon book.
It is from Toon.
Yes, and Nadia Spiegelman and Sergio Garcia Sanchez. And, you know, it is a book about a strong woman.
Yeah.
And, you know, but right in the very beginning, you know, one of my favorite passages, you know, it says when her father goes, it's about the prince, you know, there's always about a prince, you know, and he goes, this prince, he thinks life is all fun and games, And what does the strong female character say? But isn't it? Yes. But, yes, the handsome prince, we see the handsome prince right there. Of course, it's the handsome prince, but usually the prince is the hero, and the woman is usually the one in distress. But the tables turn in this particular
A damsel
book.
to the rescue.
Yes, a damsel to the rescue.
That's right.
Yes, and Nadia Spiegelman, some of her other books?
Yeah, she did Lost in NYC.
Yes.
Which
Lost in NYC.
Yeah.
You know, when I'm not here at KidLit TV, I am the director of the Empire State Center for the Book, which is with the Library of Congress. And each year, every state picks a book to represent the state at the National Book Festival, and one year we picked NYC, yes.
Yeah, which is
And-
also available in English and Spanish.
And Spanish, yes.
Yeah.
And you know, I just noticed this has like a little JLG on it.
Yeah, Junior Library Guild.
This
So
is-
was Dog Walk.
Oh,
Yeah,
yes.
nice.
A selection by Junior Library Guild.
Yeah.
Yes, terrific, terrific.
Toon has the magic. And next up, we have from Inhabit Media, which is a publisher based in Nunavut. They have offices in Toronto and in Iqaluit. And they do a lot of books that celebrate, well, everything they do is going to have something about Inuit culture and stories. And this is one called Little More in the Moon. And Little More is afraid of the moon. So when think about it, if you're in the Arctic, the nights can last very, very, very long at certain times of year. And being afraid of the moon is probably not a great idea. So Little More is afraid. And what I love about this story, I mean, look at this little guy. He's not happy. Is it not so much about facing your fears as learning how to live with them, which is not the same thing. So this is, again, from Inhabit Media, and the author is actually from the community up in Nunavut, and that is just one of the many books they have that are very accessible for audiences south of that part of the world, but really do celebrate and speak to the experiences of that culture.
Right, and I have another book by them too, and it's called, another moon book, The Man of the Moon and Other Stories from Greenland. And the illustrator, Mikey Jacobson, is very renowned. He's a renowned artist in Greenland, and I could understand why by just looking at some of the illustrations in the book. And the book also is, well, it's a collection of stories. And here's another one right there. And some of them are origin stories. You know, how the frog came to be is just one of them. And, you know, or the woman who married a prawn. Oh, I don't know. That sounds like a little problem. But anyway.
Did you mean shrimp?
I think so.
Just
yeah,
checking.
Yeah,
Okay, good.
But then, you know, then there's another woman who married a dog. So, you know, it's not a big population. But anyway, it is a great insight into another culture.
Yeah, and all the stories were collected by Gunvor Bjerre, who is a respected folklorist from Greenland, of Greenland. And just an amazing collection of stories. Because I don't know that I've ever read any stories set or about Greenland other than maybe Smella's Sense of Snow.
Right,
so,
right.
you know,
Well,
it's important to have these books.
It really
these stories
is
represented.
an insight into a whole nother part of the world. Right.
Yes. And we have another moon book because the moon, right? Nobody owns the moon. This is a book from a new publisher to the U.S. called Burbay Books. They're based in Australia, and they won Publisher of the Year in 2017 at the Bologna International Children's Book Fair. This is such a lovely story. This is about two friends. Here's Clive. This is a world where the animals just kind of walk around, and, you know, I'm a sucker for good end papers. These are fun end papers. Always love a book that has good end papers. But Clive is a fox who has a job in the city, as one does. And you can see how all the different animals kind of go around. And he has some friends in the city, and one of those friends is Humphrey. Humphrey doesn't always have a fixed address. So what I like about this is these are friends who have different kind of economic situations, but they're still friends. Sometimes he has an odd job. And there you can see them walking around, and Humphrey looks kind of sad. And he says, "What have you got there, Humphrey?" And it turns out he has this blue envelope he picked up off the ground. Inside is an invitation to go see a show, to go see a play. Now, Rocco, you know how much I love to go to the theater.
You do. Yes.
Yeah. So they go to see this show, this play called Nobody Owns the Moon. And they have this amazing evening. They go to the opening night. They get served fancy hors d'oeuvres. They watch the play. Humphrey cries because he enjoys a good cry. Then they have dessert at a real fancy restaurant, again, pre-pandemic. Humphrey wept again because it was such a perfect and beautiful evening. And they leave and they look up in the sky. This is our town. And when they got to the corner where they'd go their separate ways, Humphrey gave Clive a big hug goodnight. And that is Nobody Owns the Moon, which has already gotten a starter review.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
That's terrific.
so this is just a lovely, lovely story. I hope you'll check it out.
And I have a book by Burberry. Also.
Burberry too, and I think you're going to give us
Yes,
story
Burberry.
time.
I am, and yes, and it's by Philippe Jabert. Yes, and it's called And. Yes, and let's start right with. No, don't touch my eyeglasses. Yes, no, don't touch the butterfly. If you do, it will fly away. And the butterfly will make a flower petal fall. And the petal will fall on the dung beetle that will lose the ball of dung. And the dung ball will fall into the river, splash, and yes, the ball will block up the water, which will rise and rise and rise until it forces the dam wall to give way, and the water will flood into the tunnel of the mole, and that will wake up with a start. The mole will wake up with a start and then rush towards the exit, and the exit will be blocked by a clump of fur that the mole will sink its teeth into right there. And oh no. The clump of fur that the mole sank its teeth into will belong to the butt of a bear that rudely awakened from its afternoon nap will hightail it out of there. There he goes. And still half asleep, will crash head into a circus caravan coming around a bend in the road. There it is. And, oh no. And the mole, the bear, the caravan will come crashing down the slope, carrying along with them everything in their way. Rocks, trees, cars, houses, buildings. Stop! Stop! I promise, I will not touch the butterfly. And this flower is for you. Oh, that was a fun read. Yes.
Thank you for story time, Rocco.
No, thank you. That was fun.
Well, my next book is from Peachtree Publishers, and it's from somebody who is known all over the country and really internationally as an amazing storyteller, and that is Bill Harley. So he is the author of the Charlie Bumper series from Peachtree, and those are great audiobooks, by the way, amazing audiobooks, so check them out on audio as well. And this is called Now You Say Yes. This is a story about a girl, she's 15 years old, her name is Mari, and her little brother, Connor, and their mother dies, and they have to get across the country to their grandmother. It's a perilous journey. She's only 15, as I said, and he is on the autism spectrum. So it's a very sensitive story. It feels real and true and honest. There are some dangers along the way, but there are also lots of unexpected kindnesses they encounter. And the centerpiece of the whole book is this amazing experience of watching the eclipse. And again, sudden lovely kindnesses. Sometimes that they give and sometimes that they receive. It's just a beautiful story. It will truly make you laugh and make you cry. Yes, it's just lovely. If you'd like to read this yourself, comment on this video, and we will send you a NetGalley widget so you can read it. So now you say yes.
And they could also win all these books.
Oh, that's right. Even better, you can read the book, and possibly everyone will get to read the book if you ask.
Right.
But we will pick a winner from the comments that will win this entire book bundle when all the books arrive. A lot of them are on ships coming from China or other places around the world right now. But you've got another book from Peachtree.
Yeah, I do, and it's called Boo Stew, with another strong female character. Yes. And her name is Curly Locks. Yes. And that go again. Yes. And anyway, Boo Stew also has food in it too, but it's about a town that's kind of invaded by the scares, and and when you hear this term, kitschy poo, kitschy bon, kitschy coo, kitschy gone, these scares are wreaking havoc with the town.
Oh, let's show everyone.
Yes, and you could just see all the people here who don't know how to handle it. But Curly Locks knows what they like. Yes, and it is Boo Stew. Yes, and she actually. Then we do in the kitchen here at KidLit TV.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
So it be a perfect book for that when she does her cooking. And she puts some possum and grease and toadstool and lots of different things, and it is, and there's the scares.
The scares really like it.
The scares really enjoy it. So there's no telling what a scare's like, and there's no telling for taste. But anyway, it is a fun book with a strong female character.
Oh, show the end papers too. I love the end papers.
Okay, yes.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's just so much fun. All the ingredients. Booster.
Yeah, stinky cheese, moldy cheese.
I mean, show them.
Eel. Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, show them. Oh, yes. They're great end papers. What do you think? Yes, there they are.
If you want to win a copy of Boo Stew,
and see the rest of it.
You have to pry it out of Rocco's hands.
Yes, broken wishbones. Yes.
Amazing.
And you know what? Many times end papers are the same in the front and the back.
And sometimes they're not.
And they're not in this one. They're different, yes.
Yeah, that shows a lot of thought went into the design of that book.
Yes,
it's always a treat when you discover that. And our next two books are from Barefoot Books. Now, we don't have the physical copies here to show you, but you can see the actual image there. So Dumpling Day is by Myrick, who did if you may remember, A Gift for Amma, which was on a lot of Best of the Year lists last year and got some great reviews. It was about going to the market in India, a beautiful book about color. In this case, it's a tour around the world with dumplings with recipes. We are loving the food books here at KidLit TV today, and that is from Barefoot Books. Again, 10 different countries are covered, and just a wonderful way to explore cultural diversity around the world through food. So that is Dumpling Day, and the next one is A Deep Dive into Water, Barefoot Books Water. And this is a nonfiction book that is, I think, 80 pages long, and it is perfect. If you know any libraries, I'm hoping some of you are librarians, who are planning to do Ocean of Possibilities for summer reading next year, this Barefoot Books of Water is going to be an important one for you to have because it has everything you'd want to know about water, where to find it, what to do with it, what is it made of, science, all the good stuff is in the Barefoot Books Water book. So that is from Barefoot Books this season.
Yeah, and I have some from Tilbury, right?
A Tilbury book and more about water.
Yes, more about what it's ocean, planet, and it's about the animals of the sea and shore, and it is beautiful.
Yeah.
The illustrations are
good book feel.
Yeah, accurate and beautiful, and you learn about so many different creatures in this book.
And Ben Rothery is the illustrator for the Natural History Museum in
Oh,
London.
is he? Oh,
Yeah,
really?
Yeah.
I can see why, because his illustrations, I guess, did I say they're magnificent? Well, they
Magnificent.
are.
Yes,
They
you can say that
are.
word.
Yes, they're magnificent.
Yeah, this is just a gorgeous book with an amazing feel, and I love a good little bit of spot lamb on the cover too. You know, just makes things shine. So gorgeous. And his work has been received a lot of recognition in the UK. So we're excited to have that one here. So another book from Tilbury House. Tilbury House does such a good job with the natural world. This book, I defy you to come up with another one just like it. It is called I Am Smoke, and it is a story about smoke told by smoke itself, about the scientific aspects of smoke, about the cultural uses of smoke. And the illustrator, Merce Lopez, actually captured smoke on paper to create these illustrations. So she actually burned some paper to make her illustrations, which is not what you think an illustrator would want to do. But as you can see, the results are just stunning and gorgeous. So look at that. I mean, just amazing. So I am smoke, I twirl in dark, dance from every campfire. And here we have, I lack fingers, but I can nudge. Hundreds of years ago, I helped Huron farmers coax pumpkin seeds to sprout with my warmth. So you learn about things throughout time. I lack a nose, but I can tickle others' noses. Ancient Egyptians, Chinese, Babylonians, and people of India burned incense to produce fragrant scents. So in the back, because Tilbury House, good back matter, you have a lot of information about smoke and civilization. So this is I Am Smoke, an extremely beautiful book from Tilbury House. And I think you've got something that looks a little smoky on the outside.
Oh, yes. Well, this is a call to action, and it's by 360 Publishers.
360 Degrees, yeah.
Yes. And the future is in our hands. Climate action. So yes, I said it's a call to arms about climate change, and it talks about everything that we're experiencing, like wildfires, with the smoke traveling across country, flooding, extreme storms, heat waves. It's like reading reading the news, here, and it actually talks about things that affect our environment, like mining, and how we can change that. So this is as I said, a good call to action, and it gives us some information about green futures, renewable energy, eco-housing, being an environmental artist.
Careers you could have.
Yes,
that
right,
would be,
exactly.
Yeah.
But
But things kids can do, too.
Yes. And so this is as I said, it's almost a handbook and a call to action.
And also from 360 Degrees, we have As Large as Life, 26 habitats to explore, featuring more than 250 animals. 250. So each one of these, yes, 250, oh my goodness. So each one of these, actually we have to show the table of contents. I love showing tables of contents when doing nonfiction. And you can see a different habitat, here we go, creepy crawlies, and the relative sizes of different animals and creatures, and in this case, insects there. And I thought this was kind of funny. We have all these on-the-shore animals. So many things are called Goliath when they're big. Go figure. Anyway, that is As Large as Life, and this continues that 360 Degrees mission of doing really interesting, beautiful nonfiction for older readers. So next up.
Oh, Listified. Yes, and this is by Britannica Books. I love lists, and so this one is this one has 300 lists, and no matter what page you open, like the fastest growing plants. Number 1, bamboo. Number 2, duckweed.
Not poison ivy?
Not poison ivy, but 6, cress, like watercress. For soups and salads and sandwich. Cress is the fastest growing herb, growing just in 24 hours after the seed is planted.
It's amazing.
It is amazing, and it just makes all of us so much more interesting when we go out to talk about things. And then
Cocktail conversation.
yes, yeah. And here we have They Got It Licked. It's the 8 animals with super-sized tongues. Of course, blue whale is number 1, but chameleon is number 2. And yes, so I see kids just picking this up
I
just
love that book.
going through different. Oh, and here's some of these track records and different things like that. Some of these things are going to be probably broken, but during the Olympics. But it is, as I said, listified.
And you can win this book if you comment below. And again, we can get it away from Rocco.
No,
So-
I don't know. Yes,
Yeah. Okay.
I love it.
Yes, and the final book we have to talk about today, physical book, is one that we just found out about recently ourselves. It's called It's Up to Us. It's coming out in February, a children's Terra Carta for nature, people, and planet. Now, this is an amazing book, which, you know, we don't really talk about the Magna Carta in this country as much as you might do in England, which is where What on Earth is based. But the Magna Carta was basically a contract between the king and the people to give them certain rights. And this is a Terra Carta, which is a way for us to take care of our planet. We owe the planet certain things. So that's what this is. And there are 33 different illustrators in this book from all over the world, including Kevin O'Malley, Peter Cease, Sydney
Peter Cease?
Smith.
Oh.
Puna Mystery, just amazing illustrators. And the writing is lyrical and beautiful, but also really communicative. It tells us what is going on, and I just think it's beautiful and important. So here are some spreads for you that I hope you'll enjoy from It's Up to Us. And the foreword is written by this guy, Prince of Wales.
Prince of Wales.
That guy.
Oh, my.
Yeah. So he wrote the foreword, and 50% of the proceeds of the book will actually benefit the Princess Foundation, which is to support the environment, climate action. So that is, It's Up to Us, because it truly is up to us. And now, before we go away, we have a really exciting thing. You can hear a snippet from We Are Still Here, which is a follow-up to We Are Grateful,
Yes.
which by Tracy Sorrell, which won the Odyssey Honor, the audiobook. So we're going to hear a little bit of that from Live Oak Media, and then we'll come right back here after. So,
Chance's presentation.
Sovereign resurgence. Having survived disease, war, and federal rules meant to destroy us in our way of life, Native nations continue to exercise our sovereignty. Together, we take action to speak up for the land, water, and resources everyone needs to live. Look after our citizens' health, education, and safety. Share information with the United Nations about our treatment in the United States. Work together to shape federal and state policies that affect our citizens. All the while, we say,
We are still here.
Okay, well,
Wow.
Ellen, thank you again for bringing these 52 books to share with us. And your website is?
Publisherspotlight.com. Please follow us on social media, Pub Spotlight, and be sure to join the Twitter conversation, which
Right.
is hashtag Pub Spotlight Fall 2021.
Yeah, and Twitter, you know, I'd like to know which were your favorite books or the ones you found so interesting that you are going to explore them a little more. So, thanks again for being here. And remember, until next time, read a book in any format.